Hello guys, once again welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to solve another question which is asked in TCS NQT exam in the advanced coding part. So this is question number 2. I have already solved question number 1 of the shift 2. You can watch that in my channel. Now today we are going to solve the question number 2. So let's see what the question is. Yeah. The question is to find the maximum passengers in balloon. And they also mentioned that we have to follow the FIFO constraint. So what FIFO constraint? We'll look that in video. So the problem statement is you are given an integer array weights. So an array called weights has been given to us and weights of I. So an individual element of the weights array represent weight of the ith person. So that person's weight it is representing. So who is standing in a queue? If each is standing in a queue, so we have to consider weights one by one. So we cannot skip any person weight. So another thing is you are also given integer capacity. So we have also given an integer capacity which represents the maximum weight hot air balloon can carry. So the next in that is in capacity represents what is the maximum weight that hot air balloon can carry. So because we need to consider this, so we cannot send the people who are weighing more than the capacity of the balloon. So if a balloon can carry 5 people, if we send 7 people, there may be a chance of getting accident. So we have to consider this integer capacity. So also there are two rules given, that is the balloon follows FIFO first in first out. So as we saw, people are standing in queue, so we have to apply FIFO first in first out. So the first rule is passengers must be selected only from the front of the queue. Like as I said, so the first person who comes, his weight has to be considered and compared with the capacity. If he is allowed to enter the balloon, we have to allow him. And the another rule is you cannot any person. This means if at any position, if that person cannot enter into the balloon, we should stop that ride till there and give a ride, then come back, then get down those passengers and check whether the next passenger can be entered to the balloon or not. So our task is simple. At the end of program, we have to return the maximum number of passengers that can board the balloon such that the total weight does not exceed capacity. We have to find number of passengers. So how many passengers can be onboarded to the balloon at a time so that their total weight does not exceed the balloon capacity. So this we should be keep in our mind. So the input will be n number of people and an array weight and the capacity. So these will be the input which will be given to us. So the output should be in the input form maximum number of passengers. This also we need to make sure. Constraints are given that the weight dot length. So the array consists minimum of one person or 10 to the power 5 persons, and the weight of each individual will be minimum 1 or maximum of 10 to the power 4. Or capacity is minimum 1 and 10 to the power 9. We can make sure that there will not be any zero or negative capacity because the weights are always weighed in the positive value only. So if we look at the first example, the first input given as 4. So also the 4 weights of person is given, that is 40, 50, 60 and 70. So and the capacity of the balloon is given as 150. So for this example, the output expecting is 3. Why? Because when we add 40 to the balloon, we can add more keeps. So when we add 50, the total 9, which is less than the capacity, yes, still we can add. So when we add person with weight, so now the balloon reach a capacity what it can achieve, and if we try to give permission to the next person who very event it exceeds the total capacity of balloon, we can only send 3 person in the first side. As in example 2, they are given input as 4 hand and weight array with weight 30, 80, 20 and 50. The capacity is given as 100. Out what thing is 1 because when we enter the first person who is waiting 50, we have still capacity to add more people. So when we hit person with weight 80, it's the total capacity of the balloon because already 30 is in the balloon. So if we add 80, it will exceed the capacity of the balloon. So that at the first round, we can give permission to only 1 person. So if you look at the explanation for the first example, first the person with 40 weight comes and given permission, and the person with 50 comes also allowed to enter the balloon. Then the person with 60 weight comes, so total capacity is equal to balloon's capacity, will give permission. When the next person comes with a weight of E, exceeds the total capacity of the balloon, so he is not allowed to enter to the balloon at that time. Total number of passengers allowed is 3. So to solve this problem, we should use greedy approach, that is to find maximum capacity of the weight and maximum capacity of the balloon. So greedy approach says if the maximum capacity is already fixed, we have to find the maximum weight that is either equal to the capacity of the balloon or less than capacity of the balloon. So, and also we are using the prefix method, that is finding the sum of previous weights in order to give the permission to the current person whether he can enter the boat or not. So what our approach is doing, we are keep on adding the weight from the start. We'll start with the first person, we'll try to add him to the balloon. If we can add it, we'll add, if not, we'll not. So then stop when capacity is exceeded. So whenever the capacity of the balloon is exceeded, we'll stop then. So the time complexity to solve this problem is big O of n, and the space complexity is big O of 1, because we are not using any extra array or some hash table or nothing. So this is the logic and problem statement that has been given for the coding question 2. Let us clearly understand how to convert this to code. So this is the code. I have implemented the logic using the Java programming language. So you can implement in your own language using the syntax, but I will explain the logic. So how to use that. So first of all, I have used the scanner class in order to take user input. Maybe in your programming language it is different. So then we have the input n, which represents the total number of people who are standing in the queue, and in waste array I have been using the total number of people who are standing as that array. I am taking user input for the array weight using the for loop. So it will start from 0 and it will loop to n person and it will get incremented by 1. So in each iteration we are going to take the person's weight. Then after taking the array input, we are taking the capacity as the input in order to check whether we can add people to the balloon or not. So is the in what we are going to get from the user. So after that, I am declaring 2 variables, that is total weight and count. Total weight is used to check or add the person weight as it comes from the array, and the count represents how many members that we are already added to the balloon. So the next logic I'm using for each loop in Java, that from the weights array I'm going to get on each weight and storing that weight in a variable called w. So first what I'm going to check, I'm going to add the weight what I have received from the array to the total weight, and I'm this way total weight exceeds the capacity. If capacity, I'll the loop. Speed not exceeding the capacity, I'll update this total weight, adding it to the end weight and assuming 1 by 1. This ensures that we are adding 1 to the balloon. Also, total weight gets updated as soon as we are added this into the balloon. After this loop, we are going to print the total passengers that can be entered using the count value what we have been stored in the count variable. So let me run this code and check whether it works properly or not. I will give 4 with weight 30, 50, 80 and some 40. I will set the capacity to 100. We can add only 2 passengers in the first side. Why? Because the first person's weight, yes, we can add. The second person's weight is 50. Yes, we can add. Now the total weight has been already 80. So the next person who comes should be less than 30 or should be 20 exactly. So the next person is coming with the weight of 80 and we cannot add him to the balloon. So we are stopping our loop in up to those steps. So by our output is true. I hope this logic finds you well and you can understand this logic. So if you have solved this question in your TCS NQT exam, let me know in the comment how it was and how you approached to solve this. Also in the next video, I'm going to explain another approach to solve this problem. Maybe the question is slightly tricky in order to make it a medium level. So let's see, we'll solve that also and try to understand how to solve this kind of problems. Thank you for watching this video. If this is informative for you, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel.